Alright, hello. So from today onwards, for a bit of time, we're gonna be taking a look at weapons that are really strong for disruption missions, primary, secondary, and melee alike, and we're gonna have like 10 to 15 videos of those weapons and showcasing their capabilities. One thing I will say is that the Salta is a good disruption weapon, but I've already made a video on the Salta, so if you haven't watched that, I'll leave a link to the description so you can watch that and explain everything there. Today, we're gonna be taking a look at one of the strongest damage per second primary weapons. So, this would rank very high on the DPS list if we try to compare DPS from this weapon and a lot of other weapons. And the weapon in question is the Buzlok. So, some YouTubers do recognize the power of this weapon and how strong it is. It is a fully automatic with multiplicative CO, rifle. Pretty strong, pretty strong. Even though the trigger says semi, it is fully automatic. I'm not sure why it classifies it as semi-automatic. Fires one shot per press of the trigger. That's not true. It is fully automatic. And we're gonna show how it's fully automatic. So, the weapon itself, before we go to any builds, is, it has a passive where you shoot the old fire, and when you shoot the old fire, then you get a mark on the target, and every bullet you shoot will go to whatever you marked. And if it was the enemy's head, for example, every bullet you shoot will go to the enemy's head. This, for the sake of the gun working normally, doesn't benefit from multi-shots, and it also gives you plus 50% crit chance for the duration of the mark, which is 20 seconds. But here's the thing, even if the mark runs out, the 20 seconds of it, because you've killed the target, you keep the crit chance. So effectively, this is a primary weapon with 73% base crit chance, because this is a final plus 50%. This is not a normal 23, 50% of 23 is like 11.5. This is not a 34% crit chance, it's a 73% crit chance. Which means on this build right here that I'm running with a Riven, I would have a 165% crit chance. Now, obviously, a Riven does have crits, and the one thing that is very abnormal here is the fact that this Riven gives minus reload speed, which means that I have to compensate with radiated reload, or else this gun does not reload ever. If I remember correctly, before these stats changed, I don't know why they made it like this, but reload is nowhere to be found. It has a 7-second reload speed. 7 seconds to reload the gun. It is not very fun. But as I said, multiplicative CO, so it can abuse galvanized aptitude and serration at the same time to get a lot of DPS. If you don't want to go like this and you want to just, go level cap, go more optimal, Bane of Grenier here, or Bane of whatever you're fighting anyway, and you're fine. So, all good. Give me 1 second. Sorry, someone was being annoying. So, the thing is about the Buzlok, right? It is the perfect weapon for a maximum DPS, because you're gonna hit the guy's head, and then every bullet that you're gonna shoot will go to the head, regardless of where you're shooting, whatever recoil, whatever you're gonna use. And since it's multiplicative CO, if we pair this with a compressor, and then I don't know, we add roar and snare. I don't know. Let's go and snare for the sake that we don't add any kind of damage buff to our character, right? And then I don't know. It doesn't matter here what we pick. Let's do nothing. So everyone would probably go to the new mission, but I'm gonna go just base disruption on Mars, because I frankly have not played the new mission yet. But knowing that the targets have damage attenuation like Archons, etc., weapons with good DPS would be extremely good compared to weapons that have just one-shot capabilities. That doesn't mean, though, that weapons with one-shot capabilities don't work. They do work, it's just, it works in a weird way. So, The build has vigorous hope. It was like disruption focused build on Wisp because you don't need damage buffing abilities on disruption, in my opinion. If your weapons are good enough, this vigorous hope should be enough. So I'm holding the trigger down. As you see, it is not semi-auto like the game suggests. It is completely fully automatic. And here's the reload now with radiated reload. Still pretty long. This is because of the reload speed mode though. Normally I believe it's 3 seconds, which is still pretty hefty, but not the worst thing in the world. So we're gonna see how this does onto a target. So we're stripped. And that's the target. So you can see the power of this is pretty insane. Because when of that buff that you get. So if I go and tag this guy, you get the name of the person you tagged, and then you get the crit buff on the weapon. And the funny thing is that the crit buff is not listed anywhere. So if I tag this guy, we just get the tag and then he dies and the tag is off. But there is an actual buff happening to the gun that you cannot see. So now we're gonna orange crit every hit. I don't know, it's weird, but helps a lot on these targets, so that is the power of this gun. Arcane Avenger was also red crits were happening, but the Buzlok is very strong in terms of DPS. When you have a fully automatic weapon that does 200,000 damage, then yeah, it is quite strong. The key is orange now? What the hell happened? Okay. Don't have a snare, but it don't matter. Why is he stuck? 2 bullets. Yeah, in general, Buzlok is very good onto these disruption missions. It's like one of the best disruption mission weapons in my opinion. And the noteworthy 5 Riven disposition makes it super strong. Like, even on its own, even without tagging, it is quite strong still, but with tagging, it's ridiculous. 414,000 damage. So yeah, that is kinda how it is. That is the Buzlok. Very strong. Very, very strong. And if an enemy has some kind of weak spot, you can tag that weak spot and then you can just shoot at that place and completely destroy them. So in my opinion, really, really, really good weapon for disruption missions. So I'm gonna show the build one last time, and then we're gonna talk about modding on the gun itself. So this is the build right here. The Riven mode replaces primed cryo rounds. You get a bit less, but it's fine. You don't really care about proccing slash or anything. This is just a pure damage build. And then the radiated reload is here because of the minus reload speed. If this didn't have minus reload speed, this would be hammer shot for Wisp, and for any other Warframe, it would be vile acceleration. 15% damage doesn't really hurt, so you might as well get the maximum amount of fire rate. One thing, if you don't want to use this and you want to use radiated reload or hammer shots, if you have that, you know, if you can do that, because look how much hammer shot adds, it's actually really nice. I would suggest running on your preferred Warframe. Let's be honest, you're all Revenant mains over here. I would suggest running Arcane Acceleration, you know, or instead of Molt Augmented. I don't know why you use Molt Augmented on Revenant. Fucking what, 20 stacks on your own? no issues whatsoever. Who cares? You know? So yeah, it is quite the weapon. Quite the weapon. So yeah, this is gonna be the series. This is the first episode featuring the Buzlok, and on the next weapon, on the next episode, we're gonna feature a secondary weapon. So, you know, just subscribe if you want to see that. I'll leave Discord, Twitch links in the description, and I will see you on the next video.